All right, let's try this again. My Galaxy Tab could not make it happen. This is like my fifth time trying to record this. So let's go ahead and get into it because I'm on my phone. I don't know how much time it'll give me. So first thing, scooting. She's scooting around, doing a lot of scooting, rolling, turning, flipping, getting into everything, eating paper. Yeah, she's definitely mobile. Crawling, not officially yet, but she can get where she needs to go. We have been working on standing. She can kind of stand without, with kind of me holding her hands or me supporting her definitely in some way. She can stand, so we're working on that. Let's see what else in terms of her mobility. She's sitting up. She probably just started officially sitting up like last week. She's it's next talking the video where I showed her saying mama. She hasn't said it much since then, but she is kind of mimicking my words. Like I always say, like, hey, just to mess with her. And she'll mimic that and say it back. She's starting to like grunt at me like, so we kind of go back and forth and babble. And she loves when she feels that I can understand her or that we're communicating. And she seems to be really happy. She's always like smiling when she wakes up in the morning, except for like last week. We'll get to some of the fussiness, but in general, she seems really happy, smiley, friendly. I may have mentioned this before, but I took her to this baby study to study whether or not she recognizes android faces or human faces, or kind of which type of face she's more partial to. And she was like holding the guy's hand. She was somewhere else and she held someone's hand. And we were somewhere and she was waving at people. We were at the mall today and I noticed her waving, like she kind of likes attention because she typically gets a lot of attention when we go out. So she just kind of feeds off of it. So a funny story with her going BM. It seems like she usually goes at daycare like in the evening time. She doesn't go that much at home. But I would say the last 2 weeks, 90% of the time that she's gone at home, it's in this 10-minute window where I'm in the shower and I'm about to get her and put her in the shower with me. And during that window, she always goes poo, which that's something that I would do if I was a baby and could control it. So it's just kind of cute to see her doing that. She knows she wants to be clean, which actually, to think about it, that is kind of like a milestone where somewhat where they kind of at this age can show that they feel that some things are dirty and some things are clean. So I hadn't thought about it like that yet, but so that's definitely hilarious to me that she does that. I definitely don't get frustrated by it. I'm all for it too. So, eating. She started eating solids at 4 months, as you know. She took a break for like a month. She just recently kind of started back. She'll eat cereal. She won't eat avocado anymore. She won't drink juice. She won't drink water. She's actually not drinking much breast milk when I'm not with her. But she likes to eat off my plate. Anything I'm eating, she wants some of it. So I don't really like eating around her because then I have to chew everything up so good and give it to her, which is something I never thought I would do with my child. But when your baby is begging for your food and screaming, that's kind of what you do. So, so it's kind of forcing me to make healthier choices. So that's where we are with that. What else? There was something else I was about to say that's not on the list. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Daycare. I feel that at some point we are going to do research and find that daycares are inhumane because the 2 daycares that she's been to, yes, 2, and she's only 6 months, they just sit around all day long. They sit around all day and they do nothing and she's bored. And so I'm kind of torn. I wanted to get her a nanny. I want to send her to daycare because she does seem to like it sometimes, depending on where she is. But I don't like the fact that she's just sitting around all day, and there's no real like one-on-one attention that she's getting. She doesn't spend much time at daycare, like maybe 20 hours a week. So she doesn't spend much time there, and I do think it's good for us to be away, because during like Thanksgiving week, we were together a lot, and she was really fussy, really cranky. But then the following week, like last week, she was a lot better. So I think the time away, she likes that. Um, see what else in that respect. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, because we had an issue where I picked her up, like I pick her from daycare, and she didn't have any pants on, and I'm thinking like, okay, that's a little inappropriate. Y'all aren't my aunties or my friends. You guys are at daycare. My child's clothes need to be on when I pick her up. But the daycare was hot and she was sweating, and they were like, we don't want to turn the air on because it is December, which okay. And when I go in there, it doesn't seem like extremely hot. So anyway, so she was fussy all week. They turned the air on and she was fine. So, I don't want to pull her out because of that, but I just at least like the fact that they were trying to troubleshoot the other daycare. It just seems like once she started getting fussy, the treatment kind of got worse. I went in there. She had a boppy like over her head, just about. It was like she was laying on the boppy, and then another boppy was on her shoulders where she could have suffocated, which, I know that's against state guidelines. And I don't know, I walked in one day, the teacher's sitting right next to her crying. I trying to soothe her, anything. They're supposed to check her diaper hourly, and she came home soggy. So I'm just like, I'm done with this. For one, the scheduling was bad anyway. I had to rush through seeing my clients to get her by 7. So now this one is open 24 hours, and so I can at least get her by 8. So it just kind of wasn't working anymore for me anyway. I didn't like one of the teachers. So anyway, trying to get through this. The job. I did not get any of the jobs, which I was a little hurt at first, because like teaching, I taught for 4 years, and they're hiring people with hardly no experience. I just figured I would automatically get it. But when I went to the interview, which they already knew I had a dependent, they didn't like the fact that she was so young and that I was bringing her. They thought I would have issues finding childcare, which I researched childcare, had the information, but just that kind of was the first thing that was mentioned in the interview, and it just, it didn't go well. So, didn't get the job, not going, but I'm finding that I'm kind of glad about it. I just was going through like a hard time with my current employer, and I'm just tired of all the bull with the counseling where I am, but things have gotten better, so I'm just going to have to stick it out, which I'm glad. Me and my mom have been spending a lot of time together, so I don't want to leave, I guess. No, I don't know. Kind of pretty complicated, but so I'm not leaving. We're not leaving, and I feel no sort of way about it anymore. It's cool with me now. I guess I kind of wanted to do a check-in for myself. 6 months postpartum, kind of what's going on with me. I feel pretty much back to normal. My hair was falling out, which I've never experienced that. So it's kind of like, and that's why it's straightened now. It's been straightened for like the last 2 months, because like I would wash it like once or twice a week, and it's just like falling out everywhere. It looks like a massacre in the shower if I've combed it out. So I just went and got it flat ironed, and I wash it a lot less. And that's worked, but I think I'm going to wash it myself, and then I haven't had any time to go get it done again. I need to get it done now, but I just haven't had time. So I am having cramps now. Not sure why. I still have not had a cycle. I am basically exclusively breastfeeding. Well, I guess at home I exclusively breastfeed. Well, not really. She does breastfeeding probably 90% of the time at home. some days before daycare, I will give her cereal, but she won't take much cereal from me. She'll smash it at the daycare, but she won't take much from me. So I pretty much just nurse her at home and pump. So I got a pretty good schedule down with that, and I've been able to maintain it. What am I taking? I was on the mother's milk tea, but the store is close to me. I bought it all out and they never got another shipment, so it's hard for me to find the mother's milk that's close to me. So now I'm taking fenugreek, which is working pretty good. And so that's working pretty good. And then next I want to talk about the Wonder Weeks. It's a book that kind of outlines different developmental milestones that children go through, and they kind of help you through when they go through their different fussy periods, kind of tell you what they're emerging on. And what she was going through last week was a pretty special period. I guess it's called her gestational age. She's 30 weeks gestationally, but she's 28 weeks because she was kind of 2 weeks late. So they want the date of your original due date, not her birthday. So based on that, she was 30 weeks and she was going through separation anxiety, and I could really tell. And she was really fussy, like super fussy. I leave the room, she's crying. She's waking up in the middle of the night, like at 5, crying, and that just wasn't her. So this week she's been a lot better. Then we were home together all week last week, so I think that had a lot to do with it. But this week she's been freaking awesome. We went to the mall today, just chilled out, took a nap. It's cool. We are still co-sleeping. It's going okay. Scary thing is I don't see the end date for the co-sleeping, because I know trying to break her out of it is probably going to be a task. I might just wait until she decides she wants to sleep on her own, or just kind of start putting her in her own bed at some point, and then just kind of letting it be more child-centered than kind of me forcing her to, because I don't really have that type of parenting style at this time where I'm forcing her to do anything. I read a lot. I know people kind of like, oh, you're spoiling her, and I have a lot of debates about it, but right before I had her, I did a lot of reading about how we come to this world and, we are, I guess, kind of like raw and uncut, so to speak. And from the day we get here, we are forced to conform to this world and kind of what we consider right or how to do things. And I can't really, I guess, express it 100%, but I feel that I should not try to mold her right now as much as people may want me to. I feel like I should let her just be who she is. And I think I will adapt that, adopt that mindset for a while, unless she starts, doing some real crazy stuff, and I'll rein it in. But in general, I want her to be her. I want her to keep that uncutness, because it seems like at a certain point, we're raw and uncut, and we get so conformed until we lose who we are. And then when we get older, we fight to try to get that raw and uncutness back. Like, you see old ladies just farting in the store and stuff like that, and they're becoming who they once were when they were raw and uncut. And so I just want her to keep that a little bit. I don't want her to be socially awkward or rude or anything, but I just don't want to conform her so much. She's 6 months, so I feel she should be able to kind of do her for right now. And that's just kind of how I feel. That's what my maternal instincts are telling me to do. So in terms of the cry it out method, I don't believe in that. I want her to feel that she is here, she's going to be loved and comforted, period. At the daycare, at least the first one, they try the cry out method, and I'm not paying anybody to let my child sit around and cry. I'm just not. Because there's other people who can take care of a child that is not going to sit there and cry all day. So anyway, so I want to get on my love life. I guess I had this experience. It was kind of crazy. I've been single for a year and a half. Like no dates or anything like that. Just straight up single, having, pregnant, having Gabby, focusing on that. I went out last week with this girl that I met online, and it wasn't a date. It was we actually went to what is that called? I can never remember the name of it. Damn it. What's it called? Speed dating. Wow, it took a long time. We've been on a speed dating thing. I wasn't interested in anybody there. I just did it to kind of just whatever. But her friend that was with her, I'm thinking, okay, we all met, we're all friends. So when she asked for my number, I'm like, okay, cool. But then, like, she tells the jokes at the table when she sees the picture of Gabby, like, oh, she's so beautiful. You could be my baby mom and stuff like that. And I'm just, I'm playing around with her. I'm like, oh, yeah. So it's like a week later and the joke is still on. She's like texting me, talking about having like all my weekend time, referring to herself as daddy still after a week. And that shit just really scares me. It just reminds me of like everything wrong in my past relationships, everything that was just like unhealthy about them. And it just really makes me not want to continue to not date. Today I was thinking like maybe I just, with signing up to be a single mom, maybe I just like drew a line in the sand for a while. Like, I decided to be a single mom. I decided not to wait on love. This was my decision. So I'm going to be single for a long time. And with the crap that kind of, which it hasn't gotten that, that bad because I'm pretty much ignoring her now, or at least not really feeding into it anymore. I'll say not ignoring, but not feeding into it and not necessarily telling her, hey, look, you're scaring me. Like, you're really freaking me out. But just kind of showing her that what she's saying is like inappropriate. But I guess just from that, I don't know, I've like lost faith in like women. I wish I could date men, but I just don't like them. I've tried to entertain the thought, but it ain't that bad. But yeah, so dating is weird. And even though it's like weird, I feel like I shouldn't have to deal with this person's emotions like that because I didn't, we don't even know each other like that. So I just feel like it's kind of inappropriate. And one of the girls, well, actually the girl that I met, she wanted to go to the movies tomorrow, but I was afraid she was going to bring her friend with me. I don't know, I feel like a wimp, but I'm really afraid to like go somewhere with her because she's so aggressive, and dealing with that aggression face to face is just like, I don't know, it would just make me feel some sort of way. So I just don't want to be around her. And she didn't text me today or yesterday too much, so I think she's getting the point, and I may just have to, if she continues, I just have to tell her, which kind of makes me uncomfortable. But anyway, so I guess at the end of the day, I just feel like I drew a line in the sand, and I'm pretty much going to be single for a while, even though I didn't feel that way before I met her. Like, I felt pretty optimistic, like, okay, love is going to come my way, but then, like, she freaks me out, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to deal with crazy women and their shit, like, right now. I want to deal with, like, someone sane. So, I don't know. So hopefully I can put that energy out there and receive that back, but until then, I can't deal with the tomfoolery of, the lesbian moving too quickly and all that crap, especially with Gabby. That's just like, no way. So anyway, enough with that. Yeah. All right, later.